Hello again, Struck. Today I'm bringing you another video for Torchlight 3, and this one is my subclass skills showcase for the Flaming Destroyer. So in this video I'm gonna show you all active skills and all passive skills and try to demonstrate what they can do, how they can be used, and I will be showing you screenshots of some items that you might want to consider and look out for to synergize and build around those items. The Flaming Destroyer is another great subclass if you want damage. Just like the Electrode, it's amazing on every class, and it's some of the top builds out there could use Flaming Destroyer, and I personally love it, and there's many ways to do it. You can focus on damage, you can focus on procs, or you can mix them both. You can focus on Blazing Pillar or on Sword Smash, or even on Cloak of Flames. If you're playing in a team, you can stack your Cloak of Flames with another person's aura from a different relic. In general, there's a lot of flexibility with this relic. It may not give you casting speed like the Electrode, but it's definitely nice. Now let's start with Cloak of Flames, the aura skill. This gives you an aura around you that, as you see, burns enemies. It shoots fireballs that can trigger certain procs on hit. It gives you and your allies 25% damage, and it also gives you some evasion as a buff. As you can see, it can become bigger. With some upgrades, it can also start draining less energy, and when you combine it with Imbue Relic, you can kind of keep it up at all times. If you combine Imbue Relic from the Ancient Ember Boots with Frost Wall alongside another maybe item to get it to 45 or 30 seconds. So Frost Wall gets the cooldown to 45, Frost Wall with another item gets it to 30. And soon I'm expecting for them to change it so that you get extra cooldown reduction the same way the Disc Mage gets it from Dark Spears tier 2. The same thing to happen with all the other classes that have 10% class skill cooldown instead of being class skill to be cooldown reduction in general. Now next, Sword Smash. Sword Smash with the Egg of Mayhem is what you're seeing right now. So the Egg of Mayhem allows you to cast another one equivalent skill from the other subclasses while you're casting Sword Smash, and it's great. There's other synergies such as Firestarter, such as Ancient Ember Gloves, which don't seem to work. Whenever I try Ancient Ember Gloves, I just can't proc the equivalent skill, the one that's supposed to be procced. No matter whether I have the set bonus or not, no matter how much I attack, I just can't proc it. This one again is very good synergy with Ancient Ember Boots for Imbue Relic and the Frost Wall with the set bonus, so you can spam it. Then the Cosmic Pants on the Realm Master have a synergy, and the Mountain King Hatch on the Forged has a synergy. You're seeing level 10 maxed out Sword Smash, but on the screenshot at the top I forgot to make a screenshot while it was level 10 and I didn't have enough respectacles, so on the screenshot you're seeing a level 1 at the top as the tooltip, but that should kind of give you an idea what how much damage you get per level when you level this skill. It's a great skill and I hope you enjoy using it as much as I do in the builds I've tested with it. Next is Blazing Pillar. This is the big spender. So if you want to use a lot of energy very quickly, this is it. Again, synergy with the Frost Wall when combined with Ancient Ember Boots. And then there's a synergy with the Ancient Ember Pants that has a chance to return 25 energy when you use the skill. Since the skill costs 50, you can return with 10 or 20% chance based whether you have the set bonus or not, half of that cost on cast. It's nice, it's good. The pillars, you can just let them be and they can just do damage, and in the meantime you can use your class skills. It goes very well for builds such as a Forged on Pressure Shot, where you can just leave this be and then you can start using Pressure Shot or something else. On any skill, any build where you want to use your class skills a lot for damage, for example on Explosive Arrow build, you can just let this do its own thing, and you can do your own thing yourself, and you can stack up the damage. Whether this is better than Sword Smash, or whether this is better than Cloak of Flames, I guess it just depends on personal preference, but in most cases people prefer the aura. Now moving on to Nimble Flames. Nimble Flames is the aura, the defensive skill of the relic. It gives us evasion, it gives us those fire novas around us, and if you synergize it well with the Ancient Ember set, which is the boots, you can kind of reset its cooldown when the set bonus is completed. So it's pretty decent. If you have 3 pieces of the set, you can reset the cooldown, you can use it at the same time. And that's pretty fun, because you can do this, what you're seeing. You see, that was double the novas at the same time, in the same duration, double the novas, so like a burst of damage. It's not something that you should rely on for damage, because the cooldown is big, and the cooldown of Imbue Relic, once they rework some of the things, would go down from minimum 30 seconds to minimum 24 seconds, so that's still a big cooldown. But at least with the Frost Wall, you can get those boots and that cooldown reduced, and they would be making the cooldown reduction from classes to apply on other things, and that should reduce the cooldown from 20 seconds to 18 seconds of Nimble Flames, but it's still not gonna be enough to rely on it for damage. It's more of a defensive skill with a bit of damage flair. Next is Summoning Smash, as I like to call it, the ultimate of the relic, the big relic skill. And in this video I'm gonna try and demonstrate how many times I can use it within that. It's almost a minute, like 58 seconds clip. I think I use it 5 times. I use it once, then I use Imbue Relic, then I use it again, and then I wait for myself to recharge some energy and to spend energy, then I use it again, and then I use Imbue Relic, and I use it again, I think, something like that. So that's kind of how it is. There's a ton of synergies. There's like Bone Razor, Bone Blocker, and you can wear the Bone Blocker and slot the Bone Razor in the Legendarium and still get the set bonus. Then there's Cosmic Pile Drones, Mountain King Pile Drones, Musketeer Gloves, Celestial Pile Drones, and a bunch of other things that you can synergize with this. Now there's Firestorm. We're moving on to passives. Firestorm is those fireballs you're seeing. Not the flaming swords, but the balls that you're seeing falling from the sky, those meteors. So if you have chance to burn and the enemies are burning and you hit them, then those things can proc. And I'm just trying to demonstrate various things that can trigger it on hit, and how often you might expect this to happen. And even things like damage over time ticks can trigger this. It doesn't have to be burning damage over time, as long as the enemy is burning. If it has a poison or bleeding applied on it, the poison or bleeding tick can also proc this, from what I've noticed. Procs cannot proc other procs, but damage over time ticks seem to be able to proc things. Now we're moving on to Magma Burst, and for this I needed to kill enemies to show you, because I tried using it on the dummies and it just doesn't trigger the on-crit effect. But the on-kill effect does trigger, and you're gonna see it, and the sound you're probably not gonna be able to hear, but it makes like some sort of exploding sound, and you see like a burst around the enemy in midair. So I'm gonna try and tell you when it happens. It's hard to figure out here because I'm looking at a small screen while recording this voiceover, but it should be happening in a moment. I mean, it happened already a few times, not sure if you've noticed it, but see, this one just died and it happened here, this one as well. So it's a nice proc, and it works well alongside other procs to keep stacking multiple sources of a little bit of extra damage. So in general, I think it's fun. I think it's nice to use this skill. I hope you enjoy implementing it in your builds as much as I do. I personally use it a lot. I always try to take Magma Burst if I can, alongside Firestorm and alongside the swords from tier 1 summoning smash. For this specific thing, for this specific recording here, I disabled the other proc, so it's just easier to focus on our attention on this specific proc. And I used max chance to burn, which is 80%. And speaking of chance to burn, we would talk about that later on with one of the other things, but first let's talk about giant swings. You can see with the Digitus I have 60% damage when it doesn't give basic attack, and with the broken basic attack that gives me 30%, it didn't change the damage. And now giant swings will change my damage from 60% attack on the tooltip with the 50% basic attack damage. From 60% weapon damage, my Digitus basic attack will go to 90, which is 30, which is 50% of 60. So that 50% of 60 you can see works with this thing. So affixes that give you damage to basic attacks and do not specify the weapon type don't work. I hope they fix them soon, because I can't wait to make some more basic attack builds. But you can see this affix now, it gives me on the tooltip extra 30% basic attack damage. You do not see the percent basic attack damage from the passive, but you can see it works. You can see this one remains 90. With or without that extra basic attack damage, it remains 90. But now let's show you more about the proc, the thing that you can trigger. You can see I'm using the Digitus, and you don't have to use a Digitus. This works with Great Blade on every class, or with the class specific weapon, which is Digitus for Dusk Mage, Bow for Sharpshooter, Rail Hammer for Rail Master. You can see how it's doing some sort of a conical flame like now, and it's gonna proc now. Sometimes it takes a while, sometimes not, it's RNG. But yeah, it procs, it procs, it procs. That was 3 consecutive procs. Now let's show you from afar, so you can kind of see the proc animation a little bit easier. See, this is it. So it's not a long range proc, and even if you want to play it with the bow basic attack, you're gonna have to stay close to hit enemies. So it's kind of very bad to play basic attack builds on the Flaming Destroyer. In fact, in almost anything other than cold hard, basic attack builds with bow are bad. Unless you play a melee sharpshooter, then it's fine. Now ignition source, that's what I was talking about. Burning chance. Burning chance is capped at 80%. Ignition source can give you 25, and you can see now with this shield the 25 increased. So my chance to burn became higher. Now you see it's just 25, and just the stats from the duration and the damage from the ignition source. And now if I start equipping items that give me burn chance, you can see these changes. Now if I equip something that gives me burning chance and damage and duration, you can see my chance, duration and damage increases. And now if I equip another thing with burn chance, you can see we're capping the chance, but your duration and damage keeps going higher. So you can see even though burn chance is capped at 80%, you can still try to get more weapon damage when you burn, and more duration of your burns. And let's just show you how often you might expect to trigger this with the 80%. And now let's show you without the 80%, with just ignition source. So you can see this one kind of triggered the proc that ended the burning stuff, but let's show you this now. 1, 2 hits. So I've done it between 1 hit like now and between 11 hits. Sometimes it would take me like 11 hits, sometimes it would take 1 hit or 2 hits. So RNG at its finest, having to do like 11 or 10 hits before you can trigger it. I think that was one of the long tries. I think this one took 11 or 10. Pretty long, pretty high amount of hits until you trigger it. But yeah, it is how it is, but it definitely helps having this if you don't have chance to burn on your items, and if you want to trigger things like Firestorm. And Energizer, now you can see we get 3.5 without Energizer, and then 7.1 and 8 and 11 and then 14. So it's like roughly 3.5 and a half energy per hit. Now I'm gonna use the energy, and I'm gonna be back to 0, and I will respect some points into put some points into Energizer. So 5 points into Energizer for the 25% energy generation. Keep in mind I had no other energy generation percentage in my gear. So you can see from 3.5 to 4.4 and from 7 to 8 point something. And then you can see it keeps just getting better and better. And I intentionally didn't use chance to burn so it doesn't mess up with the energy generation testing. So that's pretty much it for all the skills. I hope this was a helpful video for some of you out there if you were wondering whether you want to play with the Flaming Destroyer as your subclass. It definitely can do a lot when it comes to damage. It provides some flexibility regarding which skills you want to use, big spender, small spender, or other things like the aura. To get notified when I upload more content for this game or other games like this one, which would be wooters of all varieties, isometric, third-person ARPGs, wooter shooters and all sorts of wooters like that, you could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on my content updates. And optionally, you can even join as a member of the Struck Club on YouTube as a channel member to get access to exclusive perks such as special emotes custom made by me, special badges custom made by me that represents how many months you have been a member for, as well as opt-in of editing tutorials that I can give for Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, as well as shoutouts and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping me going. Thank you also for watching this video, everyone. Keep it cool, Struck Club. Until next time, and goodbye.